Hi everyone, this is Wendell Graham from the Artists Guild of Anna Maria Island, and welcome back to episode 2 of Art Intertwined. We have a great lineup of varying arts that are definitely intertwined today, but we're going to start off with Guild member Karen de Leon Stuart. Karen's oil paintings are just incredible. They're full of color, full of life and movement. You'll see the light come through the paintings. If you look, you'll see her brush strokes. Really beautiful, beautiful work. These can all be seen in our gallery when we open after this pandemic at 5414 Marina Drive in Holmes Beach. In the meantime, since we're all isolated at home, Karen's showing us what she's doing during the downtime at her house. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Karen Stewart, and I belong to the Artists Guild of Anna Maria Island, which is in Bradenton, Florida. And this is what I'm doing during the quarantine period, because I put it off as long as I can. But I did these color charts 10 years ago, and I was hoping that in doing them again, I would do them better. They're not that easy. But I'm taking each color that I use when I paint and mixing it with white to 4 degrees down, and then mixing that color with every other color that I use when I paint, which really eliminates a lot of trial and error when you're going about painting. So I have the next 3 columns mixed up here because it's easier to see what they're going to look like when you mix them up. But here's the pure color mixed with another pure color. In this case, it's yellow ochre. In this case, it's orange, cadmium orange, and in this case, it's cadmium red light. And then I've carried it down 4 degrees with white. The last one should be almost white, just the hintest blush, and that's the one I really have trouble with. So I'll show how I've done this, but I'm fairly sure it's quite obvious. You just go in and fill in the little squares that I've outlined with 1/4 inch masking tape, and I'm not taking the tape off until I'm pretty happy with the color, because I can always go back in and change. And what I found for me that works best is to do the dark one on the top first, and then the bottom one. And from the bottom one, when I'm happy that that's faint enough, to work up towards the darker color. And this should be kind of a median between the two, the top dark, the bottom light, and then with the ones in between. And I'll show you as an example. Here are some that I did yesterday that didn't really work. Not all of them didn't work, but this group in here is too much alike as they're going down. So I'll have to wait till that dries, and then I'll go back in and change that. And I don't think they're ever going to be perfect, but they'll at least do me enough to paint by.
Our next part of Art Intertwined, too, is with a painting by Roger Rockefeller, one of our guild members, who's also in our gallery in Holmes Beach. And we've taken his painting and we've given it to 3 different individuals. One who interpreted the painting through song, another who interpreted through a poem, and another who interpreted through a story. And after you hear all of these, we'll tell you what Roger's inspiration was for painting his painting, as well as the name of his painting. Sit back and enjoy.
My name is Alex Friedlander, and I was inspired to sing this song when I looked at the painting of the cracked eggs, because it reminded me immediately, for some reason, of an old 19th century a popular minstrel song called The Blue-Tail Fly, whose refrain is "Jimmy Crack Corn." But I changed the words a little bit.
That's one.
When I was young, I used to wait on Papa and hand him his plate. eggs or maybe fry, and brush away the fruit fly. Jimmy crack eggs and I don't care. Jimmy crack eggs and I don't care. Jimmy crack eggs and I don't care. The egg yolks run away.
Hi everyone, my name is Kristen Swain and this is The Broken Eggs. Unpacking the grocery bags, there's less in there than I'd hoped, but it will have to be enough. These are tough times and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Isn't that how the saying goes? I pull out the meager supplies, the bread, the butter, the cheese. When I get to the eggs, I know something's wrong. I open the carton and they are broken. They're all broken. Every egg is cracked, the shells shattered, the yellow of the yolks peeking through. A sob catches in my throat and the despair threatens to drown me. The eggs were all we had. They were purchased with the last of our money and they were the last of their kind in the store. What will I tell my family and my children? How will I look into their hopeful, hungry, upturned little faces and tell them that we have no food, only a loaf of bread and a bit of cheese to get us by until some money comes in, and the store shelves are finally restocked? My back bows, my shoulders hunch over, and I feel a hot pain start in my chest as I stare down at the broken eggs, silent tears sliding down my face. I know I checked them before I left the store. They were perfect. Whole, a miracle in a paper carton. Now they're ruined, nothing but a useless waste. Another heartbreak in an already broken time. While I mourned the loss of the eggs, I didn't notice my youngest child creeping up on me. Gently, his small hands pushed me away from the kitchen counter. He took the carton in his hands and delicately began removing the broken shells from the container. "Mom," he said in his sweet little voice, "you shouldn't be sad. You wanted to bring us eggs, and you did. They just look a little different." "It's not what you wished for," he said, setting aside the pieces of the broken eggshells. "But they're still good." The light of his optimism chased away some of the darkness that plagued me, and I couldn't help but smile as my tears dried and I helped my child, who was far wiser than myself, pluck the broken pieces from our eggs. "When did you get so smart?" I asked, smiling as the weight lifted from my chest. "Daddy always said I was smart like him," my little boy quipped. "And I like scrambled eggs the best." Looking into his radiant, very serious face, all I could do was laugh just a little and hug my precious child tight. For the first time in a long time, I felt like it was really going to be all right. And it was all thanks to a carton full of broken eggs.
Now, occasionally we will get an author that does not want to let us know who he or she is, and this is one of them. So here's a poem that was submitted for this painting, and it's called Taking a Stand, and I will read it for that person. "Oh, yolk, for egg's sake, can't you behave by staying in your crate? Colorful yellow make quite the mess. Scrambled, however, that may be the best. Wait, wait, comes a little peep. Ah, reinvestigate the crate. There was one little fella that didn't take the bait. Tried and true, not moving too, one little egg stood solid as eggs should do." Now for the inspiration behind the story. Roger Rockefeller, the artist, writes, "So I came home after grocery shopping and unlocked the front door, holding the keys in one hand and the grocery bag in the other. I pushed the door open and tripped over the threshold, and the bag crashed to the floor. Oops. The bag contained a half a dozen eggs. Sure enough, when I put the bag on the counter and removed the egg carton, the eggs had not survived the adventure. Actually, there was still one egg, undamaged, and the contents of the other eggs were beautiful in their color. I had to paint it, and I did. The title was obvious, One Good Egg." Roger Rockefeller. I have Anne Abgott here from the Artists Guild Gallery, and she helps run with a team the gallery, and she did this wonderful series of shoes. Anne, tell us how the shoe series came to be.
Well, I took a look at my closet one day, and I noticed I had a lot of very fancy shoes. I liked bling. I had gold and silver, and I had beads. And I started to notice when I went through magazines, when you went to the hairdresser or you were sitting at a doctor's office, I started to notice all the crazy shoes. And all the kids today, the young girls, are wearing the high stilettos. And I have featured shoes in a couple of my paintings, especially the ones with the red soles. And I was trying to think of things that would appeal to the new homeowner. And I noticed that most of the new homes have very large bathrooms and very large dressing rooms, and that there is wall space. And so I decided that what would a woman like as a gift? How about a painting of a shoe? So over the years, I have pulled things out of magazines. I have taken pictures when I've been in DSW shoe store. Anytime I saw something that was kind of wild and funky, I would take a picture of it. And the first series of shoes that I did, I put them in a bunch of little frames, and they all sold. So I decided to do another series, and this time I did them on cradle boards. But the thing that drove me was the first set sold. So obviously people like shoes, and they make nice gifts for women. They're not expensively priced, and most homes have a spot for either a painting, it framed, or a cradle board, or something sitting on an easel. The bathrooms and dressing rooms in today's homes are much different than what we grew up with. So that was why I painted the shoes.
That's terrific.
I've had a lot of fun doing it. And the crazier the shoe, the better.
Well, thank you very much for that. Thank you for that, Anne. Before we let you go, will you share with us, do you have any words of wisdom or inspiration for the artists in the community out there during this time where they are quarantined and isolated in their homes?
Yes, even though you may not feel like painting, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that we have such an unsure future ahead of us. We don't know when the next show is going to be. We're not sure if there's going to be another class. We're not sure that all the galleries are going to stay open. So instead of beating yourself up because you don't feel like painting, you can cook. Now, I don't mean cook to eat. I mean cook to find stuff that will excite you and inspire you to paint. I have spent probably the last 2 weeks going through thousands of photographs. Thousands, literally thousands of them. One of my girls said to me, "Mom, you've got to get rid of some of these photographs." And I said, "Kelly, I have never met a photograph I wanted to get rid of." So I'm cooking. I'm sketching. I'm looking at different compositions. I have a whole table in my bedroom covered with all the things that I want to teach in classes. By the way, I'm going to be teaching online through Southern Atelier starting April 29th.
Well, that's true.
So
That's
at the time, cooking. Cooking, it might not be going through photographs. It might not be painting. It might be just reading a book about art. It might be going through old catalogs. Watch what will happen when you start to do that. That will inspire you. That'll light that fire in me.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for those words of inspiration and great ideas for everybody. And thank you for sharing your soul about your shoes. Well, everyone, that's it for episode 2 of Art Intertwined, presented by the Artists Guild of Anna Maria Island here in Holmes Beach, Florida. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you'll join us for our next episode, episode 3, which will be on Friday, the 24th of April. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, stay artsy, and have a great day. This is Wendell Graham for the Artists Guild of Anna Maria Island. Thank you.